Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Highly Suspicious Podcast with Louie and Preston. My name is Louie.
My name's Preston.
We're reporting once again live from the Trap House.
Up in here.
How are you doing today, Preston?
I'm chilling. It's a beautiful day outside.
It's a beautiful day. I'm glad it warmed back up because I was freezing my nuts off this weekend. Really not fun.
In the elements.
You know, just the other day I was thinking about how, I got some northerner blood in me. I feel like
You should be able to
better,
take it.
I'm better in the cold than a lot of people here.
Mm-hmm.
But this weekend I was just like a little bitch. I was all bundled up, and
I don't know. You'll thug it out in a hoodie for most everything. So, did you bring your actual jacket up there?
Yeah, I brought my puffy coat and everything. Yeah. I was layered up. I had my hood up and everything. I was as warm as I could possibly be.
It's freezing out in Chicago.
I was still cold. And there would be people walking around with nothing but a hoodie on. And it's just
damn.
You people are fucking nuts.
Damn.
Nuts.
It's because they're used to it.
I don't even really know if I believe that. I don't really know if I believe it.
Or maybe they're lying to themselves and they're
the cold. Although, I feel like we get used to the humidity here.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we go anywhere else, it's this doesn't feel normal. There's a war going on outside that no man is safe from.
We're teeter-tottering.
This was a crazy weekend for music. Future and Metro Boomin dropped their album on Friday, which is a really dope album. You guys should listen to it. But I'm going to be honest, that album probably would get no airtime on the show if not for
the beef. This
situation that we're in. So on the song, Kendrick Lamar, on Like That, send shots at Drake and J. Cole.
The J. Cole shots are wild.
Yeah.
Because it's I don't like Drake either. I think J. Cole's cool, but he really went for the jugular.
Yeah. Have you got a chance to listen to the song yet?
I've listened to the Kendrick clips. I have not listened to the song.
Okay, should we play it first?
Yeah, we should preface.
First reaction, Preston, to get it on the mic. How do you feel?
I mean, it's interesting because it's reminding me of honestly a lot of Kendrick features, really, where it's just you got Kendrick on the track, you're gonna let him do his thing,
do whatever he wants. Yeah,
let him go off, and he really was like, you know what? I'm gonna squeeze some fucking shots into this feature real quick.
Yeah.
I wonder how something like that comes about in the writer's room, because he's not really one for beef. And, he'll take his shot if he fucking, wants to. But he's not about it. So for him to really just, go off like that.
Can I give a brief history of the Drake Kendrick?
I mean, yeah, they have, a whole...
It's been almost like a Cold War.
Very.
Where in 2012, Kendrick and Drake were cool. Mm-hmm. They were on each other's albums. Drake was on Poetic Justice on Good Kid, Mad City. Kendrick Lamar was on an interlude on Take Care. And they seemed like they were cool with each other. It seemed like they fucked with each other. And then Kendrick dropped the famous Control verse on the Big Sean song. And in it, he basically disses the entire rap game. He name drops 15 people that he thinks are the motherfuckers in rap. And he says, I'm cool with you all, but I'm trying to murder you all. I think the spirit of that verse was just bringing the competitive sort of nature back to rap. I don't think it was really... I mean, just off of that line alone, it's he respects the people he's talking shit about. Yeah. He's just stirring the pot for entertainment because it's fun when, there's...
When there's some beef, yeah.
Yeah. And because of that, that was a huge moment for Kendrick where everyone was talking about it. A lot of y'all might not even remember that because I was fucking 12 years old.
Yeah.
The only song
if you're versed,
the only song I would have heard from Kendrick at that point was "Swimming Pools," which was on the Now That's What I Call Music CDs that my mom would get. That was the only sort of Kendrick I knew at the time, which is just it's funny to think about back then.
That's crazy.
But I think that was really the start of it because Drake was pissed after that. Drake said on multiple like interview things that he was not fucking with it. I'm gonna play the better one of them now.
I'm probably like as done as like the rest of the world is with that record. Like I think it came and it went, you know what I mean? And not to discredit
Talking
like,
hella shit.
It was a good moment, but at the end of the day, it's just like it was like one of those sort of like fleeting like Twitter frenzies that like
bitter as
my thing
fuck.
Is like, I like lasting power. You know, that's my thing. I want you to still be listening to this album in the summer. It's like not even about the music, you know what I mean? It wasn't even about like the content of it. It just seemed to be about like, you know, all the and all the talking at the time. And now everybody's like over it. Nobody plays it. It's just like whatever.
But I think that's because it wasn't a single. And it did what it was meant to. It had people listening to lyrics and excited about hip hop.
And you and Kendrick are good as far as like the albums and doing records with each other. Did that kind of, when you heard your name, did you feel like, man, like that was kind of disrespect? Or did you feel like, you know, our names were just kind of thrown in there and it was...
I don't know if I necessarily respect it. You know, we all make decisions. I'm sure he'll be good. He's talented as you know.
Does it make you, like, not want to collab with him?
Yeah, I'm good right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just about this album and me and, you know, I don't know necessarily if I feel like 100%, like, I'm not like, man, send me some, let's work. Like, nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Drake really felt the type of way about that, even though Kendrick named like 20 motherfuckers. It wasn't a Drake diss, but he's like, you know,
you said something about me on.
Yeah, and he's like, that shit came and went, bro. Like, and then he's trying to act like he doesn't feel a type of way about it. Like,
but he very clearly does,
and he doesn't want to make music with him anymore because of it. Like,
yeah,
that's soft as fuck. So Drake's been sending, you know, little subliminal shots, maybe to Kendrick, maybe not.
Yeah,
you know, that's how Drake sends shots most of the time. He sends these little subliminals where you don't.
That
really,
could apply to other artists as well too, for real.
In the Heart Part 4, which is the song that Kendrick dropped before Damn came out, it sounded like he was either dissing Big Sean or Drake without actually saying names.
Right.
And later it came out that Big Sean and Kendrick had a conversation. They didn't have any problems to begin with. That's what Big Sean says. And in that song, Kendrick's talking about quit tiptoeing around my name, you lame. And he doesn't write his raps and stuff like that. And
if you're going to take a shot, that's one that I respect. It doesn't always matter because the performer's the performer and, you know, they're providing something for it. But I feel like hip-hop's just the genre to kind of, where it's more true if you're writing your own shit.
Yeah.
And so that's a totally valid point.
Yeah. Drake's almost a pop star at this point.
Totally.
Which is why
and we've talked about that.
Kendrick doesn't necessarily get anything out of dissing him, I don't think. Well, maybe it does because this song's about to be #1 on the Billboard charts. It's projected to be.
Because it's hot.
Because it's hot, because it's a future song, because they're playing it in the club. But I thought it was really dope that he's actually going at them now. Yeah. Like, instead of, like, this is no longer subliminal. He's name dropping.
Yeah, it's some
their song together
shit being said.
He references the big three. Fuck the big three. It's just big me.
That's such a bar.
That's such a bar. Because it's funny because that is like the quote unquote hip hop big three that everyone talks about. Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. That conversation is so forced over and over that those are the guys.
Totally.
If I am Kendrick and I have classic on top of classic on top of classic, I mean, at bare minimum, Kendrick Lamar has 3 classic albums. Yeah. And arguably there's more than that. And if we're counting classic songs in there, you could throw Control in there. You could throw... This man was on a fucking Taylor Swift song.
I just want to say, his features alone get him more classics.
Yeah, for sure. And Drake and J. Cole both do too. But if I'm Kendrick and I am forced in the same conversations with these people, maybe Kendrick feels the type of way that they were clicking up without him. Because he literally says in here that...
I mean, they have,
They clicking up, can't be legit, fuck sneak dissing, first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. And first person shooter is their hit song together. Cole and Drake's song together. The Big Three line is also about them.
Yeah.
And he also says in here, this isn't a direct dig, so we don't know who exactly he's talking about, but he says, your best work is a light pack. So he's saying, your albums that everyone's talking about aren't really...
Yeah, it doesn't have the same weight to it.
And if I said that, I would be talking about J. Cole and not necessarily Drake.
I mean, that's what I've seen people speculate it.
That's a J. Cole line.
Yeah, that's a J. Cole diss.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's cold. You're literally just like, bruh, let's be honest. Your entire career is mid.
It's so interesting because, like, with Kendrick and Drake, there's a clear, like I said, there's a timeline there of, like, we can see the exact moment that...
Yeah, the rise and fall.
Yeah, being homies. But Kendrick and Drake were Kendrick and J. Cole they were supposed to do an album together. They did Black Friday, and people were thinking that was about to be a J. Cole and Kendrick album, and it just never came out, and they haven't worked together since. So it's like, whatever's happening there might be more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He also said Prince outlived Mike Jack, so he's saying kind of he's Prince, he's the more artistic, avant-garde type of guy, and Michael Jackson, made huge hit records, and there's a reason that those two were like the names that people would always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even necessarily agree with that. Like, do you think that Prince outlived Mike Jack? I mean, he did literally, but that's not what he's talking about.
I think that it works for the bar because it's a fact. I think influentially, I think that it is, like, artistically speaking, Prince's experimental style affected music as a whole.
Yeah.
Versus Michael Jackson doing
very
pop music shit that was going to be successful. And, like, every Michael Jackson song feels the same, just about.
And I do feel like that is almost like a Drake compliment, because he's saying that he's fucking Michael Jackson.
Yeah, you've, like, earned the credit, but also, like, know that there's a difference between you and me.
Yeah, right. On the Heart Part 4, he said there's a difference between accomplishments and astonishments.
Mm-hmm.
And that's totally a fucking Drake line, dude.
Yeah.
Because whenever you talk to a Drake fan, they're going to talk about the numbers. They're going to talk about how many records he sold. Kendrick's like, it's not even about that. Mm-hmm. I make fans' jaws drop. I fucking explode minds. It's not about, having the most commercial appeal. And the last line he said in the song was, for all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines. He gonna see Pet Cemetery. First of all, Pet Cemetery, fire movie. Second of all, For All Your Dogs is a Drake album, the one that just came out. And it's a K with all these nines, K9.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even catch that till today, bro.
Damn.
So I think it's just a dope verse. And I think its purpose might be how Pusha T dropped Infrared to kind of just poke at Drake and make him diss him. And then Pusha was like, okay, I got the nuclear bomb in the arsenal after that. Like, that first song was literally and that's how I view this. Like, there's nothing super incendiary about this verse.
Yeah, it's just saying, hey man, like, don't compare yourself to me.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm doing more profound shit than you. Just because you're good doesn't mean you get to say some shit about me.
Yeah. In first person shooter, Drake kind of says, it's me and J. Cole at the top of the rap game. And
that's just not...
I think J. Cole does do a line in reference to Kendrick, but it is also like, if I'm Kendrick, I might be like, fuck you guys. Fuck your little shout out on your hit song. Fuck out of here. Do you think they're going to respond? Either of them?
You know who we're talking about here, right?
We're recording on Monday. So if something happens in the week, that's why
we sound
how did you not know?
Yeah. However, I mean, Drake.
When Pusha T dropped that little diss song, Drake did drop a solid diss after that. I'm not saying it's impossible that he fucking responds.
Yeah.
I think there's ego there too. I think that's why he would respond. But I think just the way he got mollywopped by Pusha T makes him. Do you think that makes him more or less likely to talk back to Kendrick? Because maybe he wants to redeem himself.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to not look like a bitch anymore.
I feel like it's, even though it's not a hard diss, like we said, he's not saying anything too crazy, incendiary, too crazy.
It's mostly brag rap. It's mostly about I'm the best.
And that's totally like some normal, respectable, like throwing disses on the track. Valid normal stuff. I mean, Drake has been a bitch before and responded over stuff that was not worth responding to.
Yeah.
But it sort of just depends on, like, it is, even though it's not that big of a deal realistically, it's a big deal on, like, the social scene.
You know, he probably wishes he didn't respond to Pusha T.
Right.
And have him fucking emasculate him in the biggest public forum in 2018. But yeah, man. Like, I could see Drake responding. I don't really think Cole would respond.
No.
Because
J. Cole's just not that sort of person.
Because he really is almost catching strays in this whole
Kind
thing.
of.
That is kind of what it feels like.
That's why I was like, that's probably the most out-of-pocket line.
Cole's like,
J.
what
Cole's
the fuck did I
as
do?
fuck. Exactly. So we're like, damn, like,
I think
why'd you hold the punch until you got to me?
I think almost the more interesting part of all of this is it makes me think that, like, okay, Metro Boomin's not fucking with Drake anymore, but also, what if Future doesn't fuck with Drake anymore to have that on his album? Because Future and Drake have put out a ton of huge hit songs together. Life is Good, that horrible Way Too Sexy song, you remember that?
Sexy.
Jump man, that boy up to something. But Metro and Drake have a history now too, because apparently there was a Metro Boomin song where Drake was supposed to be featured and he didn't leave Drake on his song. It was for a Metro Boomin album where he basically gets all these artists to be on his beats and he kind of gets creative control of the shit. So Drake, he doesn't get shit leaked. He keeps a very tight circle. I don't think he keeps shit online. You never hear about Drake music getting leaked. Maybe some other things getting leaked, you know what I'm saying? But his verse was left off of the song Trance off of Heroes and Villains, and Drake himself leaks his verse on that song and makes everybody be like, why didn't you put him on the song? And Metro in an interview was like, yeah, we didn't have the time. It would have made the song too long, so we didn't want to do it. And I just want to say about that, the song has 559 million streams on Spotify. I don't think it needed a Drake feature. I think it probably was fine on its own.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it wasn't put on there. And then, in response to that, Metro Boomin drops, or he leaks a song that's on Drake's album in the original version without Drake on it. Knife Talk, which was the last song I think Metro Boomin produced for him. And it's just the real original song without Drake fucking on it. So Metro Boomin was on some petty shit too.
That's so fucking savage.
So people are talking about, like, have you seen the memes where people are saying, like, this is potentially going to be a rap civil war?
I mean, yeah.
Because that's really how it is. Like, a lot of people do not fuck with Drake, and a lot of people do fuck with Drake. A lot of people, like it's going to be interesting to see how 21 Savage feels about it, because he has... His last album was a complete collab album with Drake.
Yeah.
And 21 Savage's album before that was a Metro Boomin album. I don't know what you even do in that situation. Do you just not pick sides? I mean, Kendrick's already made the shit messy.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of drew the line in the sand to be like, okay, J. Cole, you stay with Drake if that's the lane that you're gonna be
Yeah.
in. You stay with your mans over there. Crazy, man.
It is some crazy shit. It could be a whole little rap civil war. Like, it's just it. And you're right. There is like this. Can you even be neutral?
Yeah.
You know.
Because if you work with
Right. So many other people.
Yeah, and there are definitely people that work with Drake that aren't gonna come to the
To his
Drake.
aid. Yeah.
In the same way, there are people that have worked with Kendrick that wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
they're probably gonna like try to keep their opinion out of it.
I'll tell you what though, Kanye's probably gonna want a piece of it. Kanye's probably gonna
Oh.
insert himself and be like, "Yeah,
Please.
fuck Drake."
Well, didn't he say some shit recently where he's like, I started what everybody else is doing now.
Yeah.
The type of shit that Kanye was putting out back in the day is why Drake sounds like Drake. Why
He invented the Weeknd's genre.
Yeah.
Which is R&B. So
Yeah, so Kanye
you didn't
invented
invent
R&B. That's just such an insane statement. I invented R&B.
Embargo.
He sounds like some old man. He's literally just like, did you know that I invented this thing that's older than me?
So here's on the first song on the future Metro Boomin album. This is a verse that people say that he's sending shots at Drake, and the song is called "We Don't Trust You." So if you think about it that way, and he's taking shots at Drake, me and Metro Boomin do not trust you.
Shit.
But he said, "You my number one fan, dog. Sneak diss and I don't understand, dog. Pillow talking, acting like a fed, dog. I don't need another fake friend, dog. Can't be bout a hoe, cause we sharing, dog. Ain't your feelings, why you playing, dog?" So
Whoa.
basically, it sounds like this might all be over a bitch.
Yeah.
Which is so funny for Future to be like, I thought we were sharing. I thought it was all cool, man.
That's wild. I love that.
So
It's totally possible. You never know.
it's just crazy, man. It's
Behind
just,
closed doors type shit.
so much is happening. What I think would be cool, what if Drake and Cole put out a Kendrick diss together? That would be kind of lit.
That'd be
I
kind of
would like
insane. Do you think that we get like the best collaborations of the century because of some beef?
Yeah,
Because of some diss war?
it's
That'd
like,
be iconic.
it's like back in the day where they would do posse tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
And Tupac's homies would come in and be like, "Yeah, fuck me,
Yeah,
I agree.
Fuck you.
we with you, Pac." But like, yeah, imagine Kendrick could enlist some of his homies.
Yeah.
What if he has Baby Keem on a song being like, "Fuck Drake, fuck Drake."
That's the whole beat.
That's the whole time.
That's the whole beat in the background of the entire fucking song. And it's like 5 minutes long.
It's so exciting when there are moments like this in music because, like, there's a lot of times where I enjoy music, but there's really not shit to talk about on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's just sort of this
not-
passive thing.
Yeah, it'd be like, yeah, I enjoyed that music. It's rarely, like, a genuine talking point that Kendrick seems to be so good at.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny that 3 years ago, when we started this show, our first episode was talking about the Kanye Drake beef,
Yeah.
and we were talking about Kendrick's crazy verse on Family Ties when that
Mhm.
came out at that time. We're full circle here, man. This is
Kinda.
this is literally like a sequel to that.
This
first
I would
episode.
say, yeah.
a direct follow up, if you will.
3 years later.
Wait.
I'll actually have to like connect this this episode and that episode on social media. We should like plug it on
That's a good idea.
on Spotify.
Because
You're like, hey, listen to this first.
Yeah.
Because I would
Context.
genuinely say that episode includes context for like the idea that this could have been building up this whole time.
Yeah.
You know, a good few years of just little sneak disses and
Yeah.
like shit like that Drake's really good at. Sure loves to just sneak in a little like subtle,
Yeah.
could be talking about anybody. kind of diss. And you know Kendrick definitely just can go off. Like if he really wants to, he's got it loaded.
So, I feel like this could almost be fucking fake beef.
I also have been thinking
because J. Cole's album is just around the corner. Like he's supposed to drop his highly anticipated album this year.
And what if he's got a Drake and a Kendrick feature on it?
Yeah, right.
That'd be wild.
He definitely probably has a Drake feature.
Probably.
But here's my conspiracy about all this. What if this is the beginning of the Kendrick rollout? What if he's right back on his bullshit and he's about to drop his independent or PG Lang debut, whatever?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, shit.
That also connected to another conspiracy that I've heard, where someone I heard in the lead up to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he had the conspiracy theory. This was a guy on Dead in Hip Hop. He said that he was just going to maybe put out some bullshit that just to get out of his label deal.
Yeah.
And while Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is not bullshit, it is possible that he went to the super weird, deeply personal style sound that was not commercially accessible on purpose to be like, man, I'm keeping the bangers and the hits to myself.
That'd be wild.
Type shit.
That'd be wild.
Because if you think about going from Damn, a
they're totally
aggressive,
different.
Like, I got,
yeah,
and bitch, be humble, sit down, and if I gotta slap a pussy ass bitch, I'll make it look sexy.
Yeah, literally.
Like, he was coming for next on that album.
Yeah.
And for his last album to be like, you know, Mother I Sober and fucking all these sad
artistic,
father time, you know, I have
time.
daddy issues. Like, that was not even meant to be like a high selling album.
Totally.
And so
and he is a smart enough guy that like that could have been
the idea.
Well, I'll put this out
move.
then if that's what you really, if you need me to make you another album, you know, so that you get some fucking money off me, fine, here you go, but you're not getting the fire.
And I think like 100% of albums are like the conflict between the label and the artist, and that's what makes the final product. Because like Schoolboy Q, I was watching one of his interviews, who's also on Top Dog Entertainment, that label, and they were kind of pressuring him around the Oxymoron days to have some commercial records, and he recorded Man of the Year and Collard Greens in the same night, and those were both classic songs, fucking huge hit songs that he says that he's still living off of today. Yeah. So it's not 100% a bad thing to have the label like
force you to make some shit, but
make it some accessible stuff, because accessible isn't always necessarily bad. Yeah, but
it just depends. Sometimes it definitely affects the artistry.
Kendrick could just be picking up right where he left off with Damn.
True.
He was poking at people then, and now he's fucking saying names. And what if...
That'd be a long wind-up, though.
I mean, do we put it past Kendrick? I mean, Good Kid, Mad City kind of led into Pimp a Butterfly. Yeah. And Untitled Unmastered was almost the bridge in between Damn into Pimp a Butterfly.
I love Untitled Unmastered so much, and it's just crazy because there are a lot of albums that are like that, where it's sort of like mix match shit from other projects and whatever. Yeah. But you can like hear songs from that you can tell like did it make the cut on other albums. Right. Which is some crazy shit.
He's very conscious about how he puts out albums. And maybe he also looks at like critics really fuck with Morale. Yeah. I think a lot of fans did fuck with it, but I think overall
it's got some fire songs. Overall, it is a complex album, and it's doing some serious storytelling, which is not.
It didn't reach nearly like the commercial success of Damn, which makes sense because that's
huge. That's one of the biggest albums of all time, honestly.
I was looking at the streams on that album too. I don't know.
I'm sure that's insane.
I don't know why I was doing this last night, but Blood, the intro track,
holy shit,
which is literally I took a walk the other day.
Yeah.
And then an old lady fucking kills him. It's like a skit
Yeah.
almost. It has 120 million streams on Spotify.
That's just
Like-
the minimum for how many people have listened to the whole
Yeah.
album.
DNA has 1 billion streams.
Yeah.
Humble has 2 billion
2 billion.
streams. Love has 1 billion streams. Like, it was kind of smart of Kendrick to drop like an album that wasn't made to be commercially successful.
No, I get what you're
So-
saying. I
Because if
as
you just try
as
to
a
do,
theory goes, I think that's pretty solid. I think that there is part of it where I'm like, maybe
maybe not.
not.
Yeah,
It's sort
I
of
get
like if it was more recently, like if he didn't take years,
Yeah, at this point, it's been
5
what?
evers,
It's about to be
what, 10
18,
years?
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24.
Oh,
It's about to be the 7-year
Yeah, 7
anniversary
years.
of a damn. So it's been a long time since that.
Yeah.
But it does kind of make sense.
I get what you're
if,
saying.
If he did kind of, I mean, that's almost the formula for Kendrick so far, because Good Kid, Mad City was kind of a commercial effort too, and then To Pimp a Butterfly was kind of like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna do my weird artistic dope shit, and then Damn was a return to the commercial shit,
Yeah.
and then Morale was again that I'm
Artistic.
gonna do something for me,
expressionist.
not necessarily to be in the streets getting bumped in.
Yeah.
That's why so many of these conversations are so stupid, because Drake fans being like, oh, well, Drake has this many #1 hits, and does Kendrick songs even get played in the streets like that? Like, why is that the metric for shit?
Yeah.
Listen to the music. Who's better? Who makes the better fucking music?
Yeah.
Who raps better?
Well, it's also like you're really trying to pretend like people aren't still out here bumping "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe."
yeah, nah.
You
Nah,
know,
yeah.
literally, like, come on. You know, people still are out here listening to all the classic Kendrick songs.
I feel like that's like a go-to like high schoolers playlist. Like
Yeah.
if you dapped up a high schooler right now and they would smoke a little weed, you know, they have fucking Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe
on
it.
that
They
track.
have-
Yeah.
They have Backseat Freestyle, you know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? So that's another reason why that clip of Drake talking, which is so funny, because he's talking about Kendrick's stuff coming and going. And he was really trying to little bro him too. Like,
Yeah,
he's got a lot
facts.
of potential. He can do it with his next album.
Shut the fuck
Kendrick
up.
just dropped Good Kid, Mad City at this time.
Literally.
An album with, here, let me pull up the streams for that.
Yeah, right. And just banger after banger. That's my big thing for like why I love Kendrick. Is there are just so few artists where I'm listening to the whole album.
Here's a crazy piece of trivia. Guess what Good Kid, Mad City song has the most streams on here? I don't know if you can guess it, because
Nah. Is it actually surprising?
it's kind of surprising to me. Because to me, this song would be like the third
Less
most
accessible,
popular
yeah.
on there. It's Money Trees. Money Trees has 1.4 billion streams. And I would think
Yeah, I
that
would have
Mad
said
City or Swimming Pools would have more streams than that. But
I-
nah.
definitely Swimming Pools.
Swimming Pools was huge. That was
I
the
mean, like I
nah,
said,
that
Bitch Don't
was-
Kill My Vibe
Yeah.
has less than that.
690 million streams though.
I didn't realize Money Trees was that popular off the album. I genuinely, for me, it's like Poetic Justice,
Yeah.
you know, Backseat Freestyle.
And
The statistics on this one are kind of whack.
like unbalanced, you mean?
Yeah.
Because they're 90 million
I mean,
streams
just fucking-
isn't anything to scoff at, but going from that to Mad City with 712, it's like, goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like, Swimming Pools. That's just such a like club song, you know? Like, I feel like there should be a stream for like every fucking club in the world
Yeah.
for that song.
Right.
Because that is such a
Yeah.
drag.
Why you maybe sitting only 2 or 3 shots? I'm gonna show you how to take it up a notch.
That's just some prime time. That album's so good.
Well, we just went into Kendrick for And I feel like Kendrick's usually the one that deserves us to go into depth about it. Because, like, when there's this little petty Drake shit, when it's... Usually there's not a whole lot of shit going on.
Yeah, it's just Drake being Drake.
Last year...
Kendrick's pretty quiet.
Yeah. Last year, I feel like this show talked a lot more about, like, conspiracy theories and shit like that than any modern music happening. So I feel like there wasn't that much going on last year.
Totally.
But this... What if this lights a fire under the ass of everybody? What if it just...
Everybody's like, I gotta turn my shit up because I might catch a stray.
What if Drake and J. Cole don't respond and Kendrick just keeps going at them?
That would also be wild. Honestly, I'd be here for it just so that there's, like, more Kendrick features.
Yes.
Or he drops some new shit where he's just like, you know what? You're not gonna respond to me? I'm gonna drop the album.
What do you think's more likely to drop this year? A Kendrick solo album or a Kendrick like collaboration with like?
I think a collaboration album is totally.
That would be so dope.
I mean, when did Baby Keem's last album come out?
2021.
It's possible.
It's time.
Yeah, that'd be fucking lit.
If anything, it has been like, where Baby Keem at?
Yeah, and Baby Keem's kind of like they could totally go together on a diss track, you know?
Yeah, he would bring...
Like, they would both hype each other up to say
like,
some inflammatory shit.
Go back and forth and shit. Oh, that'd be so dope. Yeah, here would be my dream rollout. If Baby Keem Kendrick album drops together and it's like a fun... Like, it could even be like a 10-song thing, and it could be a teaser to their full-length projects after that, and it would just be like to get everybody fucking excited and give us a couple bangers in the process.
Ooh,
that'd be dope.
That sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's such a fever dream of perfection.
Meanwhile, it's gonna be 2030, and I'm gonna be like, "Yep, that Mr. Morale album still in heavy rotation because I have nothing."
No, I think we'll get to like 2026, and then maybe we'll get another Kendrick album.
Yeah, the only reason why I think that...
I'm saying 4 years at least.
The only reason why I think it's even a possibility is because he's off of Top Dog Entertainment.
True,
and he's trying to float a new label.
Yeah.
So, in a new label, you are
he's gotta
the powerhouse.
something.
You are the guy who's going to get the strength. And even if it's just, features on Baby Keem and Tana Leone's music, that still is what he needs to do to get that label making some money.
Yeah. Use his power.
We don't have too terribly much time, so you want to hit a short topic real quick?
Yeah, you got something?
It's been a clusterfuck as far as Louisville basketball goes. So, I think maybe like 2 weeks ago, I don't know, I have no concept of time anymore.
Yeah, me either.
We fired our basketball coach who won 12 games in 2 years. He went like 12 and 50 something. So he was bad. Yeah. He had to go. So we talked to the Baylor head coach, and word is that we were offering him like $8.5 million per year to give to him, and that would make him the
most paid,
the third highest paid coach in college basketball.
Jesus.
And he said no. And then this weekend, it was the word out there that we were pretty much locked in to get this guy named Dusty May.
Mm-hmm.
He was the head coach at Florida Atlantic, which is a nobody-ass school that went to the Final Four last year.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, we'll take that guy. And then...
Yeah, what happened with that? Did that fall apart? I haven't heard anything about it.
And then in like 2 days, everyone had convinced themselves like this was a for sure happening. Like there was a news media guy who took a picture of them setting up for
a press conference saw that at the Yum Center.
A press conference at the Yum Center. And I saw someone else say, whose opinion that I believe, that Dusty May was seen at a Louisville football spring practice.
Huh.
And so all of that just kind of been like, yeah, this guy's definitely
Yeah, he's here.
to the
yeah.
point that everyone was talking about it like it already fucking happened.
Yeah, like, if dude's here, if there's a
Yeah,
press
if he's
conference
in
being set up,
town, if
he's like about to shake hands on
Yeah,
it and
right.
sign some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
And then Saturday night, the news breaks that this guy chose Michigan
fucking Michigan.
to be a head coach there instead of us. And and the whole fan base scrambling. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
I mean,
You know, 'cause we
honestly
lost
though,
our guy.
dude, what the fuck? Michigan
Over us,
over us?
crazy.
You're telling me you'd rather be in Michigan?
So the whole fan base is on panic mode. Everyone's talking about like, we don't have anyone that we could even get anymore. And
Make Patino come back.
come on home, Patino.
I
Here's
saw an interview with him the other day. He seems just as mad as ever. So
still
good.
angry. That's his
Still,
next.
yeah.
That's his comeback album. Still angry. When I was in Chicago during the weekend, we took a bus trip downtown. We rode the bus, and it was standing room only. So I was standing. I was getting
With your head
crashed
like
around
this.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'm not trying to make eye contact with random people, so I'm kind of looking down at my shoes, and I'm wearing these shoes that I'm wearing right now. You want to describe my shoes for the camera, Preston?
Big ass white shoe with some green accents, Nikes.
Yeah, some with 34 on it. They're Giannis's shoe,
Oh yeah,
And-
you told me about that.
and so they're very unique. And I'm looking down at my shoes, and I'm standing in front of two kids who are wearing the exact same shoe as me. They're both wearing
Giannis.
these exact Giannis's with the green accents and
Nice.
everything. And I was just like, oh my god. And the kid kind of notices too, and they're smiling. And they says, like, I've never seen anyone else with these shoes. And I was like, what does that say about me? And they're like, it says you're a child.
God.
So I just got straight up roasted in the
In the
bus.
middle of the bus.
And I was just geeked. That was totally like a middle schooler, like, whoa, moment.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
A side story relating to these shoes, I got a fucking drop of barbecue sauce on
What?
these white
Is that what that
fucking
is?
shoes.
Just one
Yes,
fucking drop
boy.
of barbecue sauce. Fuck that.
I was hammered, and I was at this bar that had wings.
Ooh, dangerous.
So I got wings, and it was a perfect storm.
I was about to say, did it slow-mo from the wing
Yeah.
down to your foot
Yeah.
before your very
No!
eye? Yeah.
That's exactly how it went.
Fuck.
Alright, I should go.
Yeah, it's about that time. We'll be back next Thursday at Highly Suspicious Everywhere.